Hello and welcome to Greg's Channel 1. I am Greg, and this is Channel 1. Now welcome back to the Disney series. This is where I will be reviewing the Disney animated films from number 1 to 55. Now this is the second video in the series, which means that if you are watching this, you've either just seen my Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, or you've seen the title and decided, let's jump right in at number 2. It may be a favourite film of yours and you want to know what my opinion is. And let's dive right in with Pinocchio. Now I'm going to give you a basic rundown of IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes. Now IMDb scored it a 7.5 out of 10. That's pretty good. Anything higher than a 7 I think is always a good score to get, especially if it's out of 10. And Rotten Tomatoes scored it a 100%. If that doesn't say, it's good quality, then I don't know what does. I'll give you my score at the end of the review, once I've gone through everything that I liked about it. One last bit of, interesting bit of knowledge just before we go into my review and my rundown is the film is 1 hour 24 minutes long, so it's about an hour and a half. Nice normal length for a cartoon or a Disney movie in general. It was originally released in 1940, 2 years after Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was released. This was in February. This will be important for the following film. After this, we got the good guys: Pinocchio, Geppetto, Figaro, Cleo, and Jiminy Cricket. And for the villains, we have Monstro, the Coachman, Stromboli, Honest John, and Gideon. Now, let's dive right into me giving my basic review and let you know what I think of the film as a whole, and then giving you my score. So let's begin. The music department, they did an amazing job in this film. Lee Harline, his second film in a row as part of the music department. Paul Smith, his second film where he's part of the music department, and Ned Washington, who was not in the first one, as I just said. Now these three guys brought out one of the best soundtracks in this film. This film feels good. Pinocchio feels like a real story with really, really beautiful music interwoven throughout the film. This is something that I always enjoy. If there's good music in a film, that makes me feel good, or a soundtrack that makes me want to get involved in the songs, get involved in the music. That's a good thing. So we open up with Jiminy Cricket being the narrator, and I thought this was quite neat because obviously introduces us to one of our main good guys straight up, and he says about how this was a story for him as well as for Pinocchio, which I think makes him a bit more likable. So, we're introduced to Geppetto, automatically likable character. He's a nice guy that does everything for everyone else, as the Blue Fairy says when he goes for his wish. We get great bits of comedy during the film with Figaro, Jiminy Cricket, especially in the opening part with the Geppetto's room, where you got Jiminy Cricket getting beaten up by the clocks, getting annoyed by the clocks ticking when he's trying to sleep. Those kind of things add fun. I love the way that they designed the Blue Fairy. She was almost transparent, like you could see straight through her, but you knew she was there, which I thought was a very, very beautiful way of doing it, because it makes her almost seem like she's there, but she's not. She's only there just to give a message. She's not there to interfere properly. She does interfere a little later, where she saves Pinocchio after his encounter with Stromboli, but that is just to progress the story a little bit. So it's nothing too major. In the respect of, she doesn't, go, Pinocchio, I'm going to say, do everything for you. Yet, you're in a sticky situation, you've understood you've done wrong, I'm going to reward you this once, hoping that you will learn your ways and you'll get better. Now, this all leads into certain bits and pieces that I loved about the film. The villains are all pretty damn, mean. They're not necessarily... The only one that you can really say is evil, straight up, is the Coachman. He is creepy as all hell, and used to terrify the living hell out of me as a child. I found him very, very unnerving as a child because of the way that he's just very much... Yeah, they don't come back as children. Which, as an adult looking back on it, you kind of go, oh, creepy. But as a kid, it was, oh my god, what's he gonna do? Etc. I like one of the best bits of comedy I find is Jiminy Cricket trying to explain temptation to Pinocchio. It's an absolute disaster. He's like, doing good things at the wrong time is a bad thing at doing the good things, and you're like, it's brilliant. You get the focus of the plot is nice and simple as well. It's all about self-discovery and learning right from wrong. It's not about overcoming a massive villain. Granted, Pinocchio does overcome a villain at the end, which is what causes him to be unselfish, show courage, and the other one that the Blue Fairy says, kind, unselfish, and bravery, I think it is. And he shows all three, hence becoming a real boy at the end. Spoiler alert. Bit late, never mind. The art style's beautiful in this film. If you look at it and you look at how stylistic it's all, and the way that it's all drawn and done, oh by God, is it a beautiful, beautiful film. The music, the soundtrack is beautiful. What else can I say? It's very good for teaching life lessons. Don't talk to strangers. Don't smoke. Don't drink. Lying is bad. There's no shortcuts in life. And I thought that was quite neat, because as a kid, you kind of picked some of this up, but you didn't understand it necessarily. And then, obviously, the more you get older, you start to understand it more. And it makes sense. The villains had simple motivations. That's something I really like. It was money, money, and money. The only one that doesn't have money as a motivation is Monstro. Monstro is just annoyed that Pinocchio set a fire in his mouth. I think he's kind of justified. That's just me. I'd be a little annoyed if someone, set off a fire in my mouth. Pinocchio is a strangely endearing protagonist, and you kind of want him to win. One other thing that scared me as a kid was Lampwick's transformation, and it's the way that you don't see it all. It's the way that it starts, and then it cuts to the shadow of him turning into this donkey, while screaming, "Mama, Mama," and then he goes into his, Eeyore donkey noise. It's a fantastic film, in my opinion, and the reunion at the end is so beautiful that when Pinocchio is turned into a real boy, you feel like it's the correct payoff for the film. And as a whole, I do enjoy Pinocchio. I think it's a very, very good film, and I do enjoy the way the film is done. So, only one more thing for me to do, and that is to give my score. Which, as you know, if you've followed my channel, if you haven't, I score between 1 and 5. 1 being, don't bother, why are you even watching it? What was wrong with me? And 5 is, best film I've ever seen, etc. Now this scores a 4.6 out of 5. It's a very, very strong movie, and I really enjoyed the way that it was done. Now I'll give you a league table once I've got through the first 10, and you'll see the top 5, the bottom 5, and we'll do it that way. That's how I'm going to be doing my league table for the films. and then obviously the more and more we get, you'll see the ones that are at the top, you'll see the ones that are 3 above and 3 below the one that I'm reviewing, because I don't think you want to see all 55 at the end where you're just going I mean, if you do, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll obviously do a video of the whole entire league table. But we'll go that's up to you guys. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this review. Give me a thumbs up, click subscribe. You can click the notification bell if you want to know when the next part of the Disney series is coming up. Anyway, leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below, just down here somewhere. It's been great, getting this, starting this series off. Number 3 will be on its way at some point soon. Keep an eye out. Look after yourselves, guys, and goodbye.